For 4 decades, the Chavantes of Mariwatseji fought everything from an apathetic government to violent land invaders, simply to go home. This is the last image an entire generation of this indigenous group would remember of their lands before being forced onto airplanes by the Brazilian government and expelled to make room for farmers. This is what they've won the right to come home to. An area devastated by illegal cattle operations, a region where a climate of violence is high, while an effective government presence remains low.
Isso aqui é caldeirão. Isso aqui é bem pior do que Raposa Serra do Sol. Isso aqui você está lidando com pessoas de toda a natureza e que estão fortemente armadas. O clima de conflito aqui, ele é permanente.
What makes this even more sinister is the tacit involvement of some of Brazil's largest beef processing companies that, through their cattle purchases, place the lives and the future of the Chavantes in jeopardy.
Esse gado, ele passa aqui na porta da casa dos índios caminhões lotados, principalmente desse frigorífico, o Friboi, que é uma empresa grande.
With over 200 million head, Brazil has the world's largest commercial cattle herd and is its largest beef exporter. It's the Amazon and those who call the Amazon home that bear the brunt of this industry. According to Brazil's National Space Institute, 61% of the areas in the Amazon already deforested are occupied by cattle. Lives and livelihoods are also threatened by this, and no greater example of the suffering can be found than with the Chavantes of Mariwatseji in Mato Grosso. A population of about 1,000 Chavantes is isolated to only 20% of the 165,000 hectares that was demarcated and promised to them over a decade ago. The rest of their lands have been invaded by farmers, the majority connected to the cattle industry. 80% of these lands are now deforested. In 2009, Greenpeace released a report called Slaughtering the Amazon, following a 3-year investigation that highlighted the cattle sector's role as the key driver of deforestation in the Brazilian Amazon, and how national and international companies are unwitting accomplices to this destruction. The chain goes like this. Cattle are raised in unregulated and often illegal ranches involved in the Amazon's destruction and at times within indigenous lands. Those ranches sell their cattle to larger legal ranches or directly to slaughterhouses that produce beef and tanned leather products. These products are then sold to national and international supermarkets and clothing chains, inevitably ending up on the plates or in the wardrobes of unsuspecting consumers. In effect, criminal or dirty supplies of cattle are essentially laundered through the supply chain to an unaware global market. After Greenpeace's report, large international brands like Nike, Adidas, Clarks, and Timberland agreed to no longer purchase leathers coming from Amazon destruction. Large supermarket chains in Brazil such as Carrefour and Walmart signed a similar accord. Since slaughterhouses were in the middle of all this, they began feeling the pressure. JBS Friboi, Minerva, and Marfrig, Brazil's 3 largest companies producing meats and tanned leathers, signed an accord in 2009 promising to no longer purchase cattle from ranches in indigenous lands or from recently deforested areas. Things were looking up for the Amazon and the Chavantes. Disappointingly, good intentions were not followed through on, and in fact, promises and important agreements ended up broken. For one company, it was basically business as usual. A federal prosecutor's investigation found that from May of 2010 to May of 2011, JBS had purchased over 1,000 head of cattle from 15 different farms from within Xavante lands.
Então o que a gente vai fazer agora é cobrar que eles cumpram a palavra deles, cobrar que eles parem de comprar dessas fazendas que estão dentro dessa terra indígena.
Greenpeace also learned that between August of 2010 and July of 2011, an additional 10,400 hectares of land within the Xavante's territory was deforested.
Cada vez que esse frigorífico, cada vez que uma pessoa adquire esse gado, compra, ajuda financeiramente essas fazendas, está ajudando a você continuar com essa invasão, continuar com esse crime.
The public and large companies that purchase beef products have sent a clear message that they want these purchases to be free of Amazon destruction and without the suffering of indigenous peoples. Slaughterhouses and beef processing companies, since they deal directly with the cattle supply sector, play a crucial role in determining whether this will happen.